This has been a very difficult year for many people. A lot of people are feeling disenfranchised, unable to impact the way their lives are going for them, but also the world around them. In the face of that sense of depression, disengagement, what would you offer in terms of your advice to them on what they can do, where they can get some agency in all of this?
Agency, very important word. I forget where I heard this recently, but I've seen it several places attributed to many people, that action is the antidote to anxiety. And I've been thinking and praying about this a lot because our congregation, when we were founded, our bishop at that first Mass, when the sisters professed their vows, said that our purpose was to help people find peace in the sin, strife, restless anxiety, and turmoil of the modern world, which is where we're at right now. And so I really have been thinking about this and praying about this. And one insight that I have comes from I have a master's degree in theological ethics. And I studied about 12 years ago or so. And one thing I looked at was in another time in history, in Nazi Germany, how ordinary Christians, not the superhero folks that you hear about, like those who hid Anne Frank, for example, but ordinary Christians, how they responded. And there's a political psychologist named Kristen Renwick Monroe who has studied their oral histories. And I think she came across something that is indicative of what we can do. What she found is those that were supporting of the regime felt that they were victims. And so when they did act, it was to protect themselves and be against others. The largest group were the bystanders, and they did not think they had agency. They felt that they were just one person against the regime. And so they closed their eyes and they let it happen. And I think people, as you describe, who are anxious, don't want to do that. They want to do something. The third group, there were three things they had in common. They saw that they had agency. They saw that they were connected to all people, and human life was part of their worldview. So as I look at this time and all of these forces that are hitting us with social media and with our globally connected world, it's super overwhelming. I think whatever someone can choose to do every day to use the agency they have, so choosing where you spend your money is one example, that can support human life as a value. So if there are people in your community that are being harmed, can you stand up with them in solidarity? Can you call Congress? Can you disagree with a family member who says something about a group that you think is not appropriate? And how again, what actions you can do to really help us realize that we're connected. Because part of what happens is we don't tell stories. People don't know that they have family members, that they have relatives, that they have neighbors that are impacted by these laws. Medicaid is at risk. I saw a news story of someone saying that she wasn't worried about it because she didn't have Medicaid, and she named her state's Medicaid program, which has a different name, that she's on. We don't know. So if there are ways that we can not argue, not fight, but tell stories, I think that will help.